So here is a quick recording of OpsRabbit. The goal of OpsRabbit is very simple. It is to work on an alert and figure out possible root causes after collecting the data around that alert, and then also try to give recommendations so the IT ops L1, L2, or L3 can quickly go ahead and fix the issue. With that, let's go and directly dive into some examples. So here is the first example. I'll provide you three examples. So here is LMS homepage is not available, and as soon as OpsRabbit gets this in a Slack message, okay, this is coming from Zabbix monitoring system, and once we get OpsRabbit immediately starts working on it. So I'll click on these replies, and here you will see. mm, that OpsRabbit starts looking into it, first figures out where exactly this issue is. It is LMS web server. These guys have a lot of servers. I'll show you the details. Uh, and here you see that it checks from this problem, which is the server. It contacts Zabbix for doing that. And then it checks on this particular server what is the CPU memory. It looks CPU seems stable at 0.2%, but memory has spiked from 275 MB to 555 MB at 617. Okay, so these requests that have spiked, they spiked till 632. Okay, the service remained stable for a few seconds, and then here you can see the memory usage and the requests that had spiked. They have a correlation, so it has correlated the memory usage along with the spikes. So it says that the significant spike suggests there is a correlation. Uh, and the increase in memory could be because of these requests, okay, higher number of requests. The CPU utilization, it says the CPU utilization does not show a spike. Okay, when the memory is spiked, it doesn't show the spike, indicating that CPU is not a bottleneck. So not only does it tell you why it is thinking in this particular direction, it's also eliminating some of the general causes. Mm. And the service response time remains low, suggesting that the individual request processing time is not really impacted. So potential causes, again, it says this may be the main cause, okay, which is basically inefficient memory management, and there is a spike on the load. The resource might have got exhausted. The recommendations is investigate memory usage and scale the resources if we have to handle this much load. Okay, so that's essentially it. It not only tells this immediately at a high level, but it also goes to the lower level details on what happened at the load balancer and Nginx. It's looking at different metrics, and it's saying that the Nginx connections per second has spiked. The active connections, they have also spiked. The requests per second Nginx, this metric has also spiked. So it collects the metrics at that particular time. As soon as this issue happened, it collects that metric, and and so its analysis is correct. Okay, and not only that, it tells you the graph of it looks at only the connected. So this is the web server which was impacted. This is the LMS down, and it connected here, and then it also looked at load balancer. It did not just do one level analysis and leave it at that. Okay, it is going to the details of the web server and checking how exactly this has happened. So let's look at let's say a few more examples. Okay, uh, so let me skip to something recent. Mm, so MySQL refused connections, right? So let's look at one of these. Service has been restarted. Any issue that you see, generally it will. Service down is a big one that really many people are concerned about. If service is down, it's really a big issue. So let's look into this. So this issue came at 3:50 p.m. on 19th of August. So if I click on the reply and check what OpsRabbit has done on this, so you see it is it checks that this is the database. Okay, the name of the LMS dash database. So this is basically this is monitoring the LMS application, this Zabbix server. So it has it knows the name of the service and it is checking for the service. It went down at this particular time, 10:20 on 19th of August. So it checked the metrics of that particular MySQL. What was the metrics that time? The queries per second had spiked. Okay, that is one thing it is noticing, and it's correlating that with the service downtime. Okay, and you can see the evidence. There is a link to the evidence. If you click over here, it will take you to that particular section. From time and to time is very clear over here, right? It also checks other metrics, threads connected, threads running, were they consistent? So this looks like the number of threads running was consistent at 2. So the uptime, it had increased. There were no restarts. Okay. The uptime was very nice. So the potential causes, it's saying it is probably because of the load spike that it has seen in the queries per second that could have overwhelmed the service. And yeah, it says consider vertical scaling, and there are the deep links available. If you go to the details, this is the short small graph portion of it which we show the which how the service models are impacted. Okay, the database, the my Azure MySQL servers, correct? It shows all of these details. So for a new person, this is really very nice. He doesn't need to understand exactly how the app is deployed. But if you want to see the full details, you click on this details button, and then it goes through all the details, the metrics, and here you can also see the exact RCA graph. Okay, in this graph, it will, you click on it, it will show the entire thing, and within all these services, it is showing how exactly the downtime is happening because of these nodes. Okay, so I think it's very and it all this happens within 2 minutes. That's absolutely amazing. So 351, OpsRabbit got it. The issue happened at 350. 351 it started working, and by 351 it had analyzed the causes. This took 1 minute. Generally it takes 2 minutes, maximum 3 minutes. So it's a pretty fast system. Okay. So so I really like the whole um, value prop, that the impact of the downtime, even if you it solves just a few problems, even if you save 30-40% of the analysis, still it is absolutely amazing. So let's just take one more, maybe just for fun. Okay. MySQL, let's say connection refused, for example, maximum connections refused. Let's say everything is up, but connections are getting refused. So let's look at this one. Mm, uh, this happened yesterday, and the connections were refused by this server, B server. Okay. So here you see the name of the database, H database, B database that came over here. The network connect activity, it says there were noticeable spikes over here. Mm, memory gradually decreased in this particular available time from this to this. So the correlation is increased network activity correlates with spikes in CPU. Okay, so here it is looking at the CPU aspect of it, not memory, and it goes through deep links. This is the main thing, how it collects data from different levels, from different interfaces. This may be too much for general. This is really senior IT ops work that you see over here. And it's saying that these max connections limit seems to be, means it's recommending that you should increase that limit. And if you go to the full details, okay, so here if you see the max connections when this issue happened, this is the metrics. Uh, the max connection used are just set at 3. 3 is a small number. So the number of threads connected, they're consistently at 1 or 2. So given the load, this number should be improved, is what it's saying. The potential cause is this is limit is too low for the current load. Okay. So I think it's very, and you, if you, for the evidence part of it on why OpsRabbit things like this, you can click on any of this and it will go to the details of why exactly it's thinking like this. Mm. Uh, so and again from this it shows why exactly what is the application. This is a Bolt application. This is the database. All it shows the connections so nicely. It shows B server, web server. There is no issue on this side of it and that's essentially the value prop. Okay. Mm. To help IT ops guys of different levels, and some may be junior, some may be mid level, some may be senior IT ops guys. But no matter what, how amazing the IT ops guys is, it takes a lot of time to click and go through each of those logs and find out between that time window what exactly had happened. And getting that done in 2 minutes is impossible for the world's best IT ops guy. And what this OpsRabbit is doing, it is helping every junior to senior person to basically give a quick analysis and the understanding of what is happening and why it thinks it's happening. So it's a RCA tool to help a person understand quickly. Uh, so that's that. Okay. So hope you love it. Thanks.